Well, I see our good friend Victor Ruiz has jumped in our chat room.
He has.
And I just wanted to say hello to him.
Hey, Vic. How are you?
What's up, Victor?
Yeah.
Well, I have a story here that you and I have kind of talked about over, a period of time.
Okay.
And this is not really, it is not meant to be sexist in any way.
Okay.
But in my 52 years of existence on this earth,
yes,
I have not, and that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just that for me personally, I have not encountered a affluent or financially sound woman.
Ever?
Not somebody that has a lot of money.
Like to date or just in general?
No, to date.
Okay. To go out with date?
No, as in I know somebody who has a lot of money. I do not know any woman who has been successful on her own.
Okay, define successful.
Well, somebody who is financially well off.
$100,000 a year?
No, I'm talking millions.
Oh, that has a bunch of money. Okay,
yeah, I'm not talking about who can't make a good living. I'm talking about someone who is a multi-millionaire that has made it on her own.
Okay. I think I know one.
Okay.
My friend Jen that runs the Tribune.
Okay.
Because I know what she makes, and I'm going to guess that because of that, she has a couple million.
All right. Well, again, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, and I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just talking from personal experience.
Well, how many guy millionaires do you know?
Oh, I know several.
Do you know like 10?
Let's just put it this way. I know more guy millionaires, multi-millionaires than I do women.
Okay, fair.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, we both know one, apparently.
Yeah, I know several.
We found out this week we know one.
I do. We do.
Well, that's good.
Okay, but that does not mean they do not exist. That doesn't mean they're not capable. That does not mean that they're not out there, but I'm just talking from personal experience.
All right.
Okay. I came across this story this week that just intrigued me.
Okay.
Because I got to wonder what this guy says or does that is so convincing.
All right.
That he can cause women with this kind of wherewithal to part with their money.
Okay. Oh, this ought to be good.
Man allegedly cons women, that means plural to me.
Yeah, sure.
Into buying him Lamborghini, Corvette, and Shelby Mustang.
Wow.
So this guy, I don't know what he's got, whether it's a silver tongue or just like a horse cock.
Gotta have this guy's got to have 10 to 12 inches, don't you think?
I have no idea.
It's got to.
Somehow, some way, he has conned numerous affluent women to buy him very expensive automobiles.
Yeah, no shit.
But I have not met one woman yet that's affluent that I could even think of conning her into saying, hey, buy me this really expensive car.
Now, does it talk about the women and their ages?
It does not.
Okay, because I would bet if I was betting, I would bet a part of this is the guy is younger and the women are old.
Okay.
So that they just kind of took Stanley's inheritance and then start spending it on their chippy.
Well, but see, this goes back to my original statement. You're attributing their wealth to a man.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's kind of goes back to my original statement.
Well, sure.
That this woman became wealthy due to her association with a wealthy man, be it married to him or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
My statement is that these women went out and made this wealth on their own.
There's not many of those.
See, there you go. That's what.
Well, there's not.
Well, again, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah,
I'm just making the statement.
Yeah, and there's even less of them that didn't suck a little cock to make that money.
Well, a guy from Ohio,
yeah,
who has kind of been famous, I guess,
mm-hmm.
and a guy that you're well aware of,
okay,
Art Schleister, formerly of Ohio State.
Sure.
He bilked women,
mm-hmm.
most notably a woman who was married to a Wendy's, the fast food chain,
right? Sure.
associate
mm-hmm.
out of Columbus, Ohio. He bilked her out of a couple $1 million.
Yeah, but she was older, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he threw her a little young famous cock and took her money.
Sure. Well,
he's
serving time in a penitentiary in Indianapolis.
Okay.
But he was a con man.
Why don't you go visit him and ask him what he did?
Well, I think it's publicized what he did.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a great interview for the show?
Sure, it would. Absolutely.
Dude, you should go.
Former Ohio State quarterback Art Schleister, who was known for his gambling problems.
Yeah.
Once he got out of prison the first time,
mm-hmm.
he somehow was able to portray himself as this changed man and finding religion and all these other things.
Sure.
He got involved with some widower of
mm-hmm.
the original Wendy's corporation, who she had a lot of money.
Sure.
And he got her to, put out quite a bit of money on his behalf, and he ended up back in jail again.
Dude, you know who does it, but I guess does it a little more legal than this? You might not even know this guy. Have you ever heard of Buff Bagwell? Marcus Bagwell?
I'm not familiar. No, not at all.
Marcus Bagwell, he was in 20 years ago during the wrestling wars, when WCW and WWF were competing against each other.
Okay.
He was on the WCW roster, and he was a pretty big name. I mean, he was actually a pretty big name for wrestling at the time, as Buff Bagwell, and he was all ripped up. I mean, he's a ripped big dude.
Okay.
Right? Well, that of course failed, and then as it failed, then he's a professional escort.
So
but he only does high dollar shit.
Yeah, he's a gigolo.
Yeah, but the cheapest he'll do is $5,000. $5,000, and he talks about it online. He has a website out there somewhere where it's $5,000 to $10,000 a night to quote unquote date Buff Bagwell.
All right.
And good on him. He's banging a bunch of 60, 70-year-old women.
Yeah, with lots of money.
Wouldn't you? For 10 G's a night?
Well, if he's getting that kind of a fee, of course.
Yeah. If you were ripped, I mean absolutely ripped up, and you could pull $10,000 a night to bang some 75-year-old woman with a fucking mothballs in her puss, you wouldn't do it?
Of course.
I would do that all day long.
But see, here's the thing: is where are these women? And that's the segment that I titled this: is where do you find these women?
Well, the reason we don't find them is because we're poor.
I guess.
If we were famous, I mean, dude, you could probably bang somebody's grandmother that listens to this show because you're Neeley from the Classic Metal Show.
Sure.
You could probably charge somebody's grandmother that listens $3,000. I'm thinking a Neeley fucking to somebody on here would be $3,000. You don't think so?
I don't know, because I don't know any women who were that affluent.
So if I find you a chick, if I find you a CMS listener's grandmother that'll bang you for $3,000, will you do it?
Of course.
Oh, dude, I'm going to so try my hardest to make because that's a story I want on the show.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, Kendall, there's one. Kendall, ask your grandmother if she would suck Neely's dick for $3,000. But
Sure.
she has to pay, of course.
Right. All right, well, get this.
All right.
A Missouri man has been accused of convincing a woman to buy him a Lamborghini, and a Corvette as part of an online dating swindle.
Nice.
How does that even happen?
How is that a swindle?
That stretched across several states and encompassed at least 3 women, according to authorities. So this guy somehow, and I'm looking at this guy's picture, somehow he, and here's the other question I have.
Right.
If these women are so affluent, why are they looking for dates online?
Because they're lonely.
Really?
Fuck yeah, dude.
So they're going online, these women who literally have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Really?
Of course, because they don't want to date. Dude, you got to look at the whole picture. When you get to be, take me and you out of the equation. Go into a regular person's life, okay? Just a regular person. Forget that they have money.
Okay.
Just a regular person in general. By the time they turn 60, they have like a circle of friends.
Okay.
And that's the only people that they know.
Sure, I agree with that, yes.
Okay, now, the problem is that they know them as a couple. So, Stanley dies, and Maud is left.
Okay.
Old Maud doesn't know anybody but Stanley's friends.
Sure.
And she doesn't want to fuck Stanley's friends.
Right.
She just doesn't want to do that. So now she goes, and they constantly go into that thing where they think that they're too old to get out there and meet people.
Okay.
So they get to be shut-ins and they get lonely. So then they can go online. They're rich enough to own computers. They can go online and kind of anonymously do it. And that way, if it blows up and it's bad, nobody knows. And the old people, they're fucking horrified that somebody would make a comment about them or say something about them.
Okay.
So that's how it happens. They get lonely, and they can do it on their computer without anybody knowing.
Okay.
If it happens to work out, that's when they'll introduce the guy, and you'll never hear from them that they met the person online.
Sure.
You'll never hear that. You'll always hear, "Oh, we were at the boat show or something."
So, right.
We were at a seniors function and we met each other or something.
All right.
But that's how it is. They're lonely.
All right.
And they're willing to spend, old women, and I've heard this. I mean, I don't have personal experience with this. I hope to someday. But old women are just desperate for fucking attention.
Okay. I'm just going to take your word for it because I personally don't have any personal experience or contact with this.
You don't have a grandmother that's alive?
No, they're all passed away.
Long gone?
Yeah.
Okay. Ask anybody that has a grandmother. When you show up at grandma's house, now we're in our 40s, 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmothers are dead too, but the last time I saw my grandmother was 15, 16 years ago, whatever it was, right before she died. I was in my 30s, and my grandmother would come to my house and couldn't be happier to sit at my table and just talk about nothing.
Okay.
Because they were lonely. She's lonely.
All right. I get the lonely part, but it's inconceivable to me that these affluent women are out there, literally parting ways with literally thousands and thousands of dollars on some dude that they just met online.
But if you have $5 million in the bank, what the fuck is a $40,000 ride?
Well, perhaps, yes.
And if the guy's willing to spend time with you, and always be at your beck and call and, treat you nice and, my God, actually stick his young dick in you. That's like special to them.
But perhaps, but the thing is how many of those do you know personally?
Well, I don't, because I'm not looking for them yet.
All right. So, but my point is that where are these women?
Believe me, if the museum starts failing, I'm going to start doing some sit-ups. Get myself in better shape.
Yeah, but see, in all the time that I've been on this earth, I don't know any of these.
Okay.
Where are these women at? Where are these women with all this money?
Here, you want to find them? Do you want to seriously find them?
Where are they?
Ad out there on Craigslist.
Craigslist?
Put a picture of yourself. I'm just telling you where to find them. Put a picture of yourself out there. Start at Craigslist and just say, look, I'm looking for women 70 to 80 years old. They must pay for everything. And I only eat at 5-star restaurants, but I'm willing 2 nights a week to give you my company.
Okay.
If you did that and you said $1,000, say $1,000.
Okay.
Realistic. $1,000 plus she pays for dinner and whatever. And there's no guarantees other than you'll show up and spend time with her.
Sure.
And you throw a couple pictures up there, you will get some bites.
Really? See, I guess I'm so naive that doesn't even resonate with me.
Yeah, because you're in shape. You don't look like you're fucking like life has run you over. I've never seen it, but I'm quite sure that you could probably clean up fairly well with a suit.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a suit.
No.
But I'd imagine you could fucking do some damage in a suit.
Sure.
And you'd go up and say, "Hello, Mrs. McGillicuddy. How are you? Let's have some dinner." "Oh, you used to watch fucking Gomer Pyle? Me too." I don't know what you talk about. I certainly she wouldn't want to hear about docking or whatever.
Right, of course.
But I'm sure you could find some
common ground.
Some common ground somewhere.
Sure.
Wow. I'm not even kidding. I truly think that if you put pictures out there, maybe not Craigslist, but if you went out there on like a dating site or something,
okay,
Match.com, and you put your profile up there and said, "I'll only date women 70 to 80 years old with a million plus in the bank," you would get people.
All right. Well, I'm going to take your word for it because, get to me, it's inconceivable, but apparently this guy struck gold with 3 different women.
Okay.
3.
Good on him.
1 guy, 3 women.
I don't see. I want to hear what he did that makes this a crime, though.
All right. Well, 28-year-old Timothy Rossell, Rossell, was arrested on October 13th and has been charged with 1 count of impersonating a federal officer.
Yeah.
And 4 counts of identity theft.
Yeah.
According to police, Rossell was engaged in a con in which he would convince women to buy cars for him, drive them for a time, and then secretly sell them while telling the women that the vehicles were stolen.
All right, well, then the stolen part, he should have just said, "I sold it."
But here's the thing. How did he get them to buy these expensive cars?
I'm telling you how. He's 28 years old going out with some 70-year-old rich broad.
Holy shit.
These broads are fucking... Dude, these broads haven't seen a cock that doesn't have fucking balls dragging to the knees in 40 years.
Okay.
So they're getting young cock, and they're willing to pay for it.
All right.
I don't even see that as crazy. I see that as normal.
All right.
Dude, we're getting into our upper age. Tell me, I hate to bring Taylor back into this, but when you first got some 20-year-old pussy fucking running around you, you were like, fuck yeah, I'm 50 banging a 20-year-old.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm going to put my house on mortgage or something to pay for that.
No, but that's because you're a guy. But that's because you're a guy. Let's be honest. I don't think she paid very much of any of the trips that you guys went on either.
That's so funny. See,
So it's the same story.
yeah, Phil Luz has got the guy's picture in the chat room.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm saying.
That guy's not much skinnier than me.
That's my point.
I don't know how he pulled it off.
That's why I'm bringing this story.
This guy's got to be hung like fucking...
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yes, that's him.
Maybe he cleans up well.
I don't know the answer.
My goodness.
Rossell has been living with his 27-year-old fiance in Union, Missouri, under the identity of Deputy U.S. Marshal Austin Gardner, according to the court documents cited by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Okay. During the time together, Rossell convinced her to purchase him a Cadillac Escalade.
Okay,
that's
nice.
a big SUV, right?
Yeah.
A nice Shelby Mustang and a Can-Am Spider. He also opened several credit cards in her name, racking up tens of thousands of dollars.
All right, that's a little much there.
See, how did that happen? How does that even happen?
That's a little weird.
That guy.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, if he's 28 and there's a 70-year-old woman.
Yeah, but it doesn't say how old this woman is.
You don't think that she's 28, do you?
No, of course not. But my point is how does this guy in this picture in the chat room,
yeah,
how does he convince a woman to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Well, where's he in jail at? I'd like to know.
According to the Detective Sergeant John Bisser, when Rozell's bride-to-be found the credit cards and several federal IDs for him under a different name, she confronted him only for him to flee in a white 2014 Lamborghini Gallardo.
That's an expensive ride there. Jesus.
A Lamborghini.
Let's see how much those cost.
The Lamborghini, it turned out, had reportedly been purchased by Rozell by a 27-year-old woman from Fort Myers, Florida, who he had also dated. So this chick was 27 years old.
Wow, where'd she get that money?
See, again, this is the reason I brought this.
That's an expensive deal.
Where do you find these chicks with all this money?
Dude, they start at $200,000.
I know.
They go up to $455,000.
I know, almost $500,000.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. See, he also reportedly dated. Now, this guy's from Missouri, and somehow he convinced some chick from Florida to buy him a car?
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing that.
That's my question.
I mean, he doesn't even look like somebody famous that he can... Look at that picture Nathan put in the chat.
I see that.
That's really funny.
She told police she had also bought Rozell, who she knew as a deputy U.S. Marshal, a 2016 Chevrolet Corvette Z06, and has also loaned him $27,000.
She's got some coin.
That's my point.
7 years old.
That's kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah, she's got to be like a dead dad left her an inheritance or something.
But my point is how does a chick with this kind of money get herself so desperate for, as you call it, company or attention or whatever, allow this guy that we saw in the chat room?
Mm-hmm.
What makes this guy so special that he can bilk this younger woman?
She's got to be really fat. She's got to be like 420.
So she's just some out of shape, nasty chick,
a fat, nasty,
with a lot of money, and this guy showered attention on her, so she just opened up her pocketbook.
Could be.
I don't know the answer. This is why I brought this story to the table, is because it's just like, this is inconceivable to me personally.
comes up to her, starts singing the Billy Joel, "Love You Just the Way You Are." Little flower. Tells her how attractive each of those rolls are on her fucking belly. "I love you just the way you are. I love you so, buy me a car."
Wow.
He sings both verses.
Roselle was ultimately captured by authorities in Effingham, Illinois, which isn't that far from me.
Okay.
Where he was reportedly captured at the bus station.
The bus station.
This guy had these really expensive cars at his fingertips, and he's at the bus station.
Couldn't sell one right away, apparently.
Trying to buy a ticket after the Lamborghini blew a tire.
Jeez,
it blew a tire.
$100,000 vehicle, and he's fucking stranded on the side of the road.
Roselle reportedly met both women as a result of a third victim from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
On the dating website Plenty of Fish.
See, there you go. Told you. Didn't I call this? Didn't I say on a dating site?
Plenty of Fish. Well,
there
Chris, you're not getting like these chicks that are like multi-millionaires.
I could, though.
Could you?
I could. Sure. I could put out there that... Dude, I can tell you now, the fact that I own the two businesses, that does nothing but draw attention. When I was on Plenty of Fish, when I was doing all that fucking... You remember, dude, I went on all those serial dating that I went on for a year or whatever it was. Dude, they all were attracted. They sure weren't attracted to my fat fucking dumbass. They were attracted to the fact that I had two fucking businesses and they saw a payday. I told the story on the show about the second date. The girl wanted me to buy her a $1,200 gun.
Well, this guy apparently has been able to land 3 different very affluent women.
Well, I'd like to see his profile, please.
That's my point. It's just like, what did he do to attract 3 different women from 3 different states?
I'm telling you, they're ugly women that fucking never get a call. And he saw them and said, and he probably saw them and saw where they lived, and it was a nice neighborhood. Cause you can't tell for sure, but you could tell, like in Plenty of Fish, I could tell if they live in like Solon, which is a nice rich district. Mm-hmm. Here. So I could just look up fatties from Solon and start saying, "Hey, babe, how are you? I'd like to get to know you."
Wow.
And then you go out with them. Then you see them, and they fucking look like they've been hit by 2 cars. And then you just tell them, there's some inner beauty to you that I don't think most people have ever realized. And I've felt it from the moment I met you. I don't know what it is, but I'm so attracted to you.
Oh,
in
wow.
a way I've never been attracted before. You start laying that kind of horse shit on these chicks that have always been told that they're fucking trolls, and they're going to be in. And then you start playing the pullback game like a pimp.
Yeah, then you got to figure out, what their financial status is. Holy cow.
If they can afford a place in Solon, they're at a certain level already. And that's when you're like, and that's when here, I'll tell you how and I'm doing this on the fly, but this is how I would fucking work this. Let's just say that I was doing this, and I found me a chick in fucking Solon where I know that you got to make 3.5 to live comfortably. And she's living by herself. I go on the first date. I find out what road she lives on. She lives on one of these places that the houses are $500,000 plus, and she's single. Now I know she's got some money, right? So I'm going to take her out, and I'm going to lay on all that bullshit I was just feeding about, I just feel something special that I've never felt before, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to run that line for a month or two. Then I'm going to say, you know what? I'm thinking about getting another car. Let's work it out. Let's go over to the Tesla dealer. Because there's a Tesla dealer over
Sure.
there. So we go to the Tesla dealer, and I'm looking at cars, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want. And then I'm going to say to her, but I can't afford this. And she's going to be like, oh, whatever. And that's when you lean into her a little bit and say, well, we are starting to get closer.
Oof.
Maybe you could help me out with this a little bit. And she'll be like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And that's when you pull back like a pimp. Like, oh, all right. If that's the way this relationship is, then okay, I know where we are. And you pull back a little bit. And this bitch that is so starved for attention, she's going to pull out the checkbook. Oh, if that's all it's going to take, it's just money. Got her. You just got yourself a car, my friend.
Sure. But see, this guy...
That sound wrong?
Well, again, this guy's from Missouri.
Yeah.
And he's conned women from Pennsylvania to Florida. You know, it's just like, how do you do multi-states?
Yeah, I don't know, unless he's traveling around. I don't know how you do that over the internet.
That's my point.
That would be, he's got to be traveling. He's got to be.
Wow. Let's see here. It says that the Post-Dispatch reports that Roselle's criminal record contains a litany of offenses across several states.
Okay.
Under numerous identities. January 2014 article from Pittsburgh area.
Nice.
Where you know.
Yeah.
Outlet, the live reports, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this guy is a multi-state finagler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? That's just amazing to me that somebody's got this time, effort, energy, smarts.
He's got the skill. He's got it down, dude. He knows all the hot buttons. And I guarantee you that's all he's doing is pushing hot buttons with these chicks. Of course he does. You know, and it could be the little smallest things too. He probably gets her little small gifts that just mean something important to her.
Sure.
You know, get this fat fucking fatty a fucking puppy or something. You know, get her a puppy and just, oh, you know, I saw this puppy and it just reminded me of you. And, you know, there's just that connection. And I just wanted to connect you with this puppy and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you lead it in there to where it's like you're developing this fantasy,
meaningful relationship.
Yeah. But fast. You do it. You almost purposely make it go fast like that, like the Cinderella story.
Wow.
And fucking Fatty here is never been treated nice. She's always been the one that people threw fucking food at at the party.
She's Carrie.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Except she's way scared. Carrie was fuckable. This chick's like this chick gotta be not fuckable.
Right.
27 years old with this kind of coin, she's gotta be fucking butt ugly. I mean, she's really gotta look like one of the orcs from the fucking Lord of the Rings movies. I mean, she's got to be hideous.
Wow.
And he works that. He uses that to his advantage.
Sure.
I'm proud of this guy. Good on him. I mean, I'm not proud of the arrests.
I mean, I read that story and I was just like, how is this guy able to do that over state lines, you know, over, you know, miles and miles away on online dating.
Yeah, and look, AOR Rocks makes a great point in the chat room. He buys her gifts with her own credit card. Exactly right. That's exactly right. He gets her at some point. He's like, you know, I'd like to get a credit card now that I've moved in. You know?
Yeah.
Now that I've moved in, I got this credit card thing. Maybe I'll put it on her. What's your social? Puts her social in it, co-signs the credit card, and then he buys her little gifts with it, and she has no problem paying the bill. She's not going to have it. Attention for a lot of these desperate women is fucking way more valuable than anything else that they have in their life. They'll happily be broke. They'll spend all their money and be happy to do it as long as they're getting love or perceived love.
See, I guess I personally have not had any contact or experience with anybody that desperate or depraved to where that to them is just like, well, I've finally struck gold.
Yeah. Well, believe me, if my business has failed, that's the next step, because I'm certainly not going back to a cubicle. I would have no problem with it. I would absolutely date nasty chicks to get their money. I would do that in a minute. Why not?
Again, I can't speak from personal experience.
It's a job. I mean, you worked at a fucking place where you had to go and spend 10 hours a day with people you fucking hated. And they all stunk. Fucking ugly attitudes and everything.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
What's the difference?
I'm not going to argue that point, but my point is that I've never done the whole online dating thing.
Sure.
And in personal day-to-day contact.
Yeah, well, you're missing out.
I have never encountered a single female who was worth, a lot of money.
What do you got left on your house to pay?
Oh, I don't know, about $90,000.
You can be done with that by next year. Wanted to be.
Sure.
Telling you. All it's going to take you is sticking your dick in a couple of uglies.
Right.
I mean, a couple of girls that could fucking
but where do you find these girls?
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish.
There you go. That's free. There you go. I'm telling you, dude. You could probably be paid off on your place a year from now.
Wow. See, I guess I'm so naive or just inexperienced in that area that it just never would occur to me that, man, if I go on Plenty of Fish, I'm likely to run across some fatty with like a lot of money. That would never even occur to me.
You know why it would never occur to you? Because you are forget this show for a minute. You are more or less an upstanding guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
You are definitely, when it comes to life and whatever. Even when you were 20 years old, 25 years old, you never were like an asshole.
No.
I was an asshole. I used to, dude, my reputation when I was young was that I cheated. That was my thing. I loved everything but getting caught. But I was always willing to get caught to bang 3 chicks at once. I didn't care. I used to try and play that, especially in Korea. Maybe I haven't told the story, but I used to purposely run down every single guy that used to bang Korean chicks to the American chicks. I would sit up in the barracks with the American chicks and just be railing on but these are my friends, no less. I'd be like, I can't believe fucking Zebby is out there banging those slopes. What the fuck is wrong with him getting that yellow pussy? What an asshole. How can he not fucking want to be with you fine ladies? I would just spill that kind of bullshit. And then if I didn't have anything lined up with them by like 2 a.m, I got in a cab and went and found some Korean puss.
Of course you did.
That's what I did. I would tell these girls anything.
Sure.
Anything to bang them. And at one point, like we had 3 floors in our barracks, and the 3rd floor was the women's floor. At one point, I had banged like 2/3 of the girls because I always was, I was the party guy, I was the fun guy, and I was the guy that was not known up to these girls for banging Korean women. I was the one that fucking took the quote unquote moral high ground, allegedly.
Sure.
So they were willing to bang me for that. Just for that. For not banging Korean chicks. Even though I was. And I didn't care. And then when I got found out, so what? Oh, you're not going to bang me anymore? Okay. Well, whatever. Moving forward, that was the game. I was a scumbag, and I could still be. I could absolutely, I could see this for me. Maybe not to that level, to like getting fake IDs and shit. But I could definitely see me hustling to get my bills paid and shit. Why not? wouldn't make me. I wouldn't feel worse about it.
Sure.
Because I wouldn't care about the girls.
Right. Well, again, this goes back to what I was just saying, that I was not aware that there were that many out there that were single or looking or willing to hook up, as it were, or get involved in some way, or even putting some kind of a post out on a dating website, because you would think that people who have, the wherewithal or the means, frequenting a dating website.
Well, okay, but I'll show you. I'll show you where this makes sense. You see that picture in there right now that says grenade?
Yeah.
Okay, you got two attractive ones and one that fucking
yeah, sure.
Disaster. Okay. Every bar you would ever go to with those three friends hanging out, which one is not getting anybody talking to them?
Well, obviously the girl who's a little, the one who's fat, overweight. Yeah.
Now, of those three, even if you knew in the bar that Fatty there had all the money, you're still going to go after the other two first.
Yeah, because that's what you're that's because that's what you're attracted to.
Yeah. So she's used to being rejected. That's her life.
Mm-hmm.
She's rejected since she was fucking old enough to eat a fucking I don't know, a cake instead of a carrot. She has been rejected since she's been a fatty, which has been forever. Okay? Now, you put her in that situation. Now she's got some money, and now she's starting to get attention that she never got before.
Sure.
The money means nothing to her. Nothing. Because the money has never bought her the love. And these guys, and if you're one of these fucking slicksters, you will walk right in and say, well, you know what? It's really not about the money. And then you'll take all her fucking money.
Of course. I guess I'm not that much of a deviant to be able to play that game.
I certainly could be that guy. 100% could be that guy. I would love to. I'd love to find me one of those for like I said, a year to pay off my house.
Nice.
I would bang a fat fucking nasty chick for a year.
Right.
I'd bang a chick with fucking one arm and one leg for a year if it fucking paid off my house. She got a good settlement.
Right.
I'll bang Lefty all day.
Sure.
Why not?
All right. Well, I need a drink.
All right.
I think the only way to end this segment is some Bullet Boys.
Okay.
Hard as rock.
Or for the love of money.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
All right.
All right. Well, here it is. It's the Bullet Boys exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hi, this is Mark Troyan from the Bullet Boys, and you're listening to the one and only classic metal show. Dig it.